Hello friends, followers and channel members, welcome to another video here in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today I'm looking at a wonderful product. This is perhaps the future of eye tracking simulation for various games, not just Microsoft Flight Simulator, but this is the Tobii Eye Tracker 5. Now, if like me you're not flying with a VR headset, then you kind of are reliant upon using the mouse to panning around, looking around your cockpit, or if for instance you just want to have a good look outside, then you do need the mouse to be able to do that, which can be a little bit frustrating at times, particularly as well as it's well documented that when using the right mouse button to pan around, suddenly at the moment there's a bug within Microsoft Flight Simulator that all of your controls actually freeze. So several times I've ended up rolling off the taxiway because I've tried to look where it is I'm going, and yeah, I can't steer the nose wheel left and right whilst I'm doing that. Well, this is just another reason why the Tobii Eye Tracker 5 it comes in really useful. The guys from Tobii Eye Tracker sent me this device to try out, and it is incredibly slim, ergonomic, and quite cool looking if I'm completely honest. Didn't take very long to arrive either, it was only a couple of days. Now, it's fair to say I was a little bit apprehensive at first, what with having to install software for it, drivers, make sure things work, perhaps a performance degradation of the sim, but thankfully none of these were actually an issue. It's connected via USB, and I thought there could be a slight issue here as my monitors are actually quite far away from my PC, but there's actually an extension cable included with the Tobii Eye Tracker 5, so this wasn't an issue either. It's advertised as a simple plug-and-play device, and that is absolutely true. With the computer fired up, I literally plugged in the USB cable, it automatically found the device, installed all the software that was needed, and then all you had to do was launch the program, and then with that it was very easy to set up. Now, those of you familiar with the channel will know that I'm not the most technically minded guy when it comes to PCs, but this could not have been easier. It literally provided step-by-step instructions, and what you see on the screen here is basically what was on my monitor full size, and then you aligned these lines here that you see on the screen with the lines on the actual Tobii Eye Tracker. There's a couple of ways that it can attach to your screen. It can either attach along the bottom or it can attach underneath. You essentially connect the included magnet to your monitor, and then the Tobii Eye Tracker is magnetically connected in the housing unit. This was really impressive, and the fact that I literally sat still, looked at the three dots, and this is how it performs the calibration, so it knows where you're sat and it starts to track your eyes. I also wear glasses as well, so that made no difference. It could see with glasses, could see without my glasses, so if you do wear glasses there's absolutely no issues there. Back into Microsoft Flight Simulator then, and Azobo and the Tobii team have already teamed up to work together, so it is seamlessly integrated in. You literally don't really have to do anything. It's working, or it was for me. It was literally working from the first moment I fired up the sim, having installed the eye tracker. I haven't played around with the settings too much, but basically in your control settings where you'd normally find your side stick, your thrust levers, your keyboard, mouse, etc., there's now an option for the Tobii Eye Tracker, and you can go through and tweak those settings on there as you see fit. It means that your camera movements are literally dictated to by your eyes and your head, and this isn't limited to just being inside the cockpit. As you can see here, we're in the showcase camera or drone mode, and I'm just moving my head around, having a good look around Manhattan, having a little play here to see how well the device works, and I thought it was great. You really do get a sense of being able to no longer have to worry about panning around. You can just use your eyes and use your head. So what about using the Tobii Eye Tracker 5 when you are flying the Airbus or any airliners? I'll be completely honest, this is the only time that I actually found it to be a little bit frustrating. Maybe I just need to get a bit more used to it. But because you fly airliners more or less by pressing buttons, dialing things in on the FCU and down at the McDo, things like that, then wherever you're looking, trying to get your mouse cursor in the same place isn't always the easiest thing. So I I was quite often trying to dial an altitude or heading into the FCU, and the FCU was moving around a little bit and I couldn't get the mouse over the actual dial. So yeah, this is where perhaps GA aircraft are better orientated for this kind of device. That isn't to say, however, that I haven't used the Tobii Eye Tracker 5 whilst flying the Airbus, because there are times when it absolutely does have its uses. For instance, if you're flying a visual approach, you can see here we're just having a little bit of a circle to land test approach. This was a lot easier. The amount of times that I've tried to do a visual approach and I'm panning around and it's just not getting the kind of views that I would like to see. Simply using my eyes or turning my head means that I can line myself up much better with the approach and the runways. So yeah, absolutely, this is one-time visual approaches where it comes in really handy. Another thing that the Tobii Eye Tracker 5 does is make lining up on the runway so much easier than trying to pan around. Remember, I spoke a little bit earlier about that bug where using the right mouse button to look left and right, pan around, means that your controls are no longer being responded to at the moment in the simulator. Well, obviously we can forget that with the eye tracker. It means that I can line myself up nicely on the runway just by turning my head, using my eyes, etc., and it's as easy as that. As I said, it's not limited to just being in the cockpit. Even the passenger views respond to your head movements. So here, approaching Gibraltar on a replay, then I can use my replay mod, sit here and look from a passenger's perspective at just how well the simulator looks and how good or bad I did as a pilot flying these approaches. One of the really huge benefits of the Tobii Eye Tracker 5 is the Reno Air Races, because obviously this is a fast-paced racing against your friends. Well, if you have got the upper hand of being able to quickly look left, right, behind you, up and down, etc., then you've got the edge over your opponent. If you're in a biplane, for example, you have got limited visibility anyway, so you have the extra edge of being able to quickly look up, down, left, right, or keep your head nice and still and just use your eyes to quickly glance to see what's going on around you, where your next checkpoint is. Things like that become so much easier when you're not reliant upon the mouse in order to pan around. As you can see from the footage shown here as well, there is little to no impact on frame rate. Now, given my new recent PC upgrade, I have obviously got the settings for my sim turned up quite high. If I decided that it was causing me any issues, then you could easily drop those down and not really lose anything with regards to the visuals. We could just turn off the minor things, for example, but I didn't even have to do that. Everything was very nice and smooth, whether I was flying the Phoenix aircraft, the fly-by-wire, any of the GA aircraft, and of course, as you can see here, the Reno Air Races aircraft. One of the key things that I would suggest to anybody who is going to get the Tobii Eye Tracker 5 is through the Microsoft control settings in the simulator, you can switch a toggle button on off in order to turn on or off the head tracking instantly. So I've got this set to a quick toggle button on my side stick. This is actually really useful for when I am flying the Airbus, because I don't want it turned on all of the time. The moment you turn it off, it just resets the view to straight ahead, and then you're good to just continue looking around using the mouse or anything else. But the moment you want to use it, a quick flick of that button means that it's back in use. My own personal consensus then on this device is that it is very impressive in how it works. Probably the easiest setup of any hardware I have certainly ever had to come across with Microsoft Flight Simulator in all the years that I have been involved with flight simulators. It literally is just plug and play. It works, and it's so sensitive to your eyes. Just a slight movement and it can track it. That's not to say that it means that your viewpoint will be all over the place, because you can go and tweak those settings in your game, Microsoft Flight Simulator or any other game, so that it's not quite as reactive, so to speak. But just the fact that it can track your movements so delicately means that you can fine-tune everything exactly how you want it. Personally, I think this device is far better for the Reno Air Races, GA aircraft and VFR flying, things like that. For the airline flying, it does have its place, as I've mentioned throughout this video, but it's far more fun when you are flying VFR than airliners. Airliners, where you're trying to push buttons all the time, I find myself using it not quite so much. If you have watched this review video and thought that actually looks like a great product, then I've got some fantastic news for you. There is currently an offer on at the moment on the Tobii website, so quickly, you've got a few days left at the time this video is being filmed to go ahead, grab yourself a great deal discount and get the Eye Tracker 5 from Tobii. Check out the link in the video description down below to get your discount. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Bye bye for now.